Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face of Victor Daffrece, and you're watching Face2Face Podcast. Lero, in this episode, I have got an interesting guest, somebody that is missing in action, and his name is Professor John Chisi. Professor Chisi, welcome to Face2Face Podcast.
I like the introduction. It's quite a very... thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah. Thank you for having me today. Let's see what we can do. I'm fine, as you can see. I'm okay.
Okay. So, Professor Chisi, pomwe mulipa mmaziwika m'magawo awiri. John Chisi, the medical doctor. Yeah, someone that is in the medicine profession. Komanso mmaziwika ngati munthu amene ndalezi anachitapo nthawi nake. Suti ndikalenso ya.
Asana chitapo akuchitapo.
Kuti mmachitapo ndale.
Nikadali member wa MCP to paja msaiwala.
Yes.
Sinachoka mu MCP na naona MCP ndi nikadali member.
Yes, komano mena nena kuti there are two portions of Professor John Chisi. Timafati mvesese kuti china kupangisa nchani kuti muyambe ndale.
Ndale ndi moyo wa anthu tu. Ukakhala munthu oti umamva kuwawa ndi zimene zikuchitika pa moyo wako, kapena zikuchitika ndi anthu ena, umafuna utengepo gawo kuti zinthu zimene zikupangika izo zikhale bwino. Chifukwa anthu amene amakhala ndi mphamvu yayikulu pa moyo wathu ndi anthu andale. Mabajeti osewa, misongo timapereka mabajeti osewa kuti khali ndi masukulu kapena misewu kapena zipatala zonse zina anthu andale. Chifukwa amapita ku parliament kumene amapanga mabajeti. Ndiponso mukauza anthu ambiri amene ali ma executive officers amalephera kupanga zambiri mbiri chifukwa amati treasury sinapange chakuti koma treasury imakhala ndi minister of finance. So minister of finance amakhalanso koma so choti muziwe chakuti anthu andale ali ndi mphamvu yayikulu kwambiri pa moyo wathu chifukwa president akanena kuti apapangidwe msewu umatheka chifukwa iye ali ndi mphamvu zotenga makhobiri mziko kapena kunja kwa ziko. Malawi ili ndeti timati ngongole zambiri mbiri zimene chasinapange ndife anapanga ndi ya president kapena anthu andale amene anaona mabajeti kuti pena pakusowekera tikongole uku. Koma chimene wakongolera icho chimakhala chinthu choti chikufuna moyo wa anthu utetezedwe. Mungapo sachedwa tosefe tikuziwa kuti panali vuto achimanga president apita anangobwera chimanga chinakapezeka nthawi yonse kunalibe koma chinakapezeka ku Zambia kuzira mwayiwo kutenga ngongole njira zosiyanasiyana zimene zawo sanathe. So choziwika nchakuti ngati ndale simukutenga serious kapena kundale kulibe anthu amene ali masomphenya okwanira ziko silimayenda. Koma anthu amasomphenya kwambiri zimene zimadabwisa kuti anthu ophunzitsa kwambiri chifukwa kuti umunthu uthe secondary school university that means would abstract planning. Koma ndimadabwa kuti anthu amene ophunzitsa kwambiri samafuna ndale koma iwo ndi amene ali ma solutions anthu amene sanapite ku sukulu sangakhale nawo. Ndiye zimakhala zodabwisa kwambiri kuti anthu akamaphunzira kwambiri amatine ndale ayi koma ndandale kumene chifukwa akanakhala kusakupanga abstract thinking sakanaphunzira bene anaphunzira chifukwa kuti muphunzire bwinobwino university ma calculus aja ma algebra aja mapaka university aja that's very tough. They require you to think beyond. Ndiye ma solution amapezeka ndanu ngati amenewo ndiye anzathu akumaiko akunja munga mano ngati ku Britain kamene ku France amene utuka kapena kakhala China komwe musaona kuti anthu amene akupanga ndale ndi anthu amene ali ma degree ya political science. Mukava kuti achina Johnson ma prime minister ku Britain kale anali Cambridge anapanga kale ma degree ya political science amapita university kapanga degree ya political science PhD ya political science ndi kujoya chipani ndi kupanga za chipani ndi kutukula ziko. So if zimene zilibe ndiye vuto ndilimene loti anthu ambiri amene akuthandiza mndale masomphenya alibe amakhala anthu kuti mwina ngati aphunzira kwambiri apita university koma not beyond there. Koma so anthu ambiri university apiteso ku secondary school basi kuti analephera kupita university koma ndi mphamvu zambiri zoti agazizatu koma analephera ndithu kupita beyond that education. Ndiye zimakhala zosowa kuti ziko litukuke kapena lipite pamwamba chichonseso anthu amene ali abstract thinkers anthu amene akapange plan bwinobwino sakufuna kujoina ndale. So zimene zimapangisa munthu kuganiza kuti ine paziko lapasi pano anabwera chani what is it what chifukwa chani mulungu anandipasa matalent amene andipasawo. Mulungu anandipasa matalent kuyambira kuni kuise ntchito paziko lapasi pano ndipo ntchito paziko pano ine nditukuka poyamba chifukwa sine mphawi chifukwa cha matalent amwewo. Koma kuti ndikhale mene ndili ndifuna anthu ena ndikuyeso manja chifukwa masala amene ndikulandirawo kuchoka kwa anthu ena chichonse mene ndikupanga anthu ena amatengapo gawo ndi anthu aja amakupasaso zimene ukufuna. So ukhoza kukhala matalent osiyanasiyana koma ngati anthu ena sautengapo gawo matalent alibe ntchito. So tosefe tindi udindo woti tikamaphunzira kapena tikamakhala ndi abstract thinking tiyenera ndikati abstract thinking nena kuti kuona zinthu zimene anthu ena sakuona. Example imene ngapereke pano yabwino ndi yakuti example yabwino Kamuzu akubwera kunalibe anthu ophunzira university kunalibe university omwe anapanga ndi Kamuzu paja kunali Saulos Chilima imene anapanga ndi azungu komanso masifu 7 analibe ndiye amafuna apeza anthu aziphunzisi apeza anthu ku polisi apeza anthu ku agriculture apeza anthu ku forestry koma analibe anthu amenewo ndiye anapanga plan anakuti okay tikhale ndi ma exit strategy a skulu okwana atatu so poyamba anayamba sandi 5 exam kuti apange apeze anthu amene akhoza kulema mayeso under pressure komanso akhoza pita sandi 6 so that amene alephera abwere sandi 5 koma inali yoona kuti mukampasa mwana pepara lochokera ku envelope la chizungu kuti alembe uli manage ndiye tosefe amene nali nthawi ya Kamuzu kuti pita sandi 6 nakhoza mayeso aboma preparing us kuti pita sandi 8 azongo anani Cambridge awo koma Kamuzu anapo sandi ndi mayeso aboma kupita form 1 ndiye form 1 uja amatenga anthu ambiri let's say Daffrece secondary school amatenga anthu okwana 120 koma because amafuna anthu maziphunzisi anthu ku polisi manjo sansiyana ba form 3 anthu amatenga 40 osaja amene akhoza aja amachosa kuti apite kukagwera ntchito so that exercise was working for him ndiyo kufika form 4 kupita university amatenga anthu ochepa mwina awiri kapena atatu chifukwa samafuna kuti university ipange extend kwambiri nthawi imeneyo chichonse amafuna anthu amene they have gone through all this apita ku university akhale aziphunzitsa zawo komanso ayang'anireso koma enawo mpite ku ntchito so you see kuti under Kamuzu the education system was sandi 5 exam sandi 8 exam form 2 exam form 4 exam and then university ku university amawidaso nkhani he was trying to create an elitist group ife tatenga zomwe zija sinasinthe chifukwa panopo zikufunika chifukwa nthawi ya Kamuzu kunalibe ma private schools that's why ndimana kuti okay nthawi ino zama elitist zichoke chifukwa anthu ambiri aja amafunika because Kamuzu need civil servants now we don't need that we need anthu amene angapange fertilizer that was not the pressure of Kamuzu anthu anali 3 million yoka ndiyo fertilizer waputike kapena amene wapanga makwana was only 3 million 4 million so it was not an issue and Kamuzu was able to create zina zake zimene anthu ambiri olephera kupanga create kuno because he had a plan but we have kept that system that's why inati mabwera kuti pamene pa primary school ke secondary school pompo ana aziyamba sandi 1 mpaka form 4 osasankhidwa kapena osalepheredwa kapena ongopita straight this you find if you go to St Andrews private schools maskulu azungu ana amafika sandi 7 sandi 6 sandi 7 amangopita straight they don't have an exam koma ife tulembe ana exam ana akhoza osatalepherayi koma ndimasiya kumbuyo ndiye mundiuze inuyo ndimakuchani mklasi koma nthawi yakale district yanu ndina ine yanga ndina ndikale mama Yesu kupita form 1 ina kusankhana kunchewu kapena kumangochi kapena kwina kwake ina asankhira kurumpi competition yosiyana kwambiri kotero kuti ine ndimakuchinyani inuyo koma chifukwa ndinachokera kurumpi sindisankhidwa inu mpita ku secondary school ndiye mukamabwera ku nyumba ku ndikukondani mukamabwera pa holiday ine ndi sandi 8 inu ndi form 1 mukamabwera pa holiday tigwirizana ndiyankheni tigwirizana tikona napo ndiye mukudabwa bwanji kuti Malawi ndi sanje mudabwa bwanji kuti Malawi ndi anthu asanje yezi makondana nkhani imambira pati
Professor Chisi ndimafuna ndikutengeni pang'ono kuchidwi chanu pandale you repeatedly refer zinthu zambiri mukamakamba nkhani za ndale makonda kupanga refer kwambiri nthawi ya Kamuzu banda this Kamuzu banda that now as a person that we have known kuti you are a politician in these modern times koma ndinu munthu wamvula zakale ndanthu timakhala mazifunsa kuti chifukwa chani Professor Chisi kalekalero sadajoina nawo ndale nthawi ya one party system
nali mwana I was in primary school you have to understand kuti ineyo secondary school ninapita 1980 koma sina kwa school ya boma kopanda kupita ku seminary katolika ine sindikanaphunzira ine ndinakhoza kupita ku form 1 nakhoza masamu chizungu ndi religion ni Maria mimwayi wa Yesu zinthu ngazimenezo za katolikazo marozale zinthu ngazimenezo makorona zimene nakhoza ine kupita ku secondary zinthu ziwiri basi koma zinthu zimene zinali different ziwiri ndiye nayamba form 1 so Kamuzu by that time he was already in power there's no way I would have done politics ndiye nkhani ayikulu inali yakuti ineyo napita ku seminary ndimaphunzira mene maphunzira anthu ena komanso zambiri za Chikristu ndiye Chikristu inandipaka mode at that age ndiye 1984 nasangidwa kupita ku Chancellor College. Chancellor inakhala kwa zaka ziwiri. Kamuzu now is in his peak, my 80s. Ine ndi kusukulu. Nafika pamenepo nazafika kuti 1986 nasankhidwa kupita ku Britain. Kapanga udokotala. So from 1986 to 1990 napanga degree yanga yoyamba. Kamuzu is in his prime, inami kusukulu. From 90 to 92 nili ku London, University College London. Mwana wa sukulube. 92. Don't forget Kamuzu anamwaya 1997. 92 ndili ku Britain ndikupanga degree ya chiwiri. Imene zaza ku 1993 I became a medical doctor. 1995 na join a College of Medicine ngati mphunzitsi. Napita so ku sukulu kumene nakapanga so PhD imene nasiza 1998 graduated 1999 namba ntchito yeniyeni 2000. So ndikanatheka bwanji kundi kalendale koma chichosecho ndimafuna at that time ndione mene ndilili munthu wake chifukwa nkhani yandale kunalibe nthawi imeneyo it was a normal profession munthu akupanga udokotala koma akuphunzitsa madokotala. And I did this. So 2003 nasanduka senior lecturer. 2006 nasanduka associate professor. 2012 nasanduka full professor. Me I'm a full professor of experimental pathology. So what point would I have done politics? Panalibe chifukwa nali busy kupanga moyo wanga wathupi ndi kuzero zikule ndizindikire zinthu zambiri. Chimene ndipangisa ndaleso pano zomwezo mukunena kuti tili kusukulu ana mabisana mabuku. You see buku ndi limozi library. Koma kubisana why? They're scared akwina akaiwerenga akhoza iwo alephera. So panalibe dongoso pani competition au chisiru ije kuti anthu awo comments ina you are the talent. Mulungu anandalisa what I've told you kuti school yanga I've never struggled. Ngakhale mabuku aja sowe kapena sowe ine ndimamva zinthu zimayenda. Koma panali anthu ena amene they need those books more than me. Koma timabisana. Why? Timaba kuti akhoza ine sindikhoza. Zimene ndikunenazo sanje. And that sanje continues. Even if you go kuma ministry whatever you see kuti anthu sakugwirizana chifukwa alese makopa mabwana chani. Munthu amene amakhala masuka malai munomo. Pachichose confident people. Koma ambiri mwafiti ndi mantha. Ndiye because wakoti mantha. Zinthu zambiri timapanga mwa mantha timaopa. Ndale zikasintha nchosa ntchito. Ndiponso andale aja mapaka chimozimozi. Akangosintha amachosa anthu. Everybody is worried about their own life. Ndiye ndijoine chipani ichi, ndipite uku, not to be yourself. You know, people don't think of it. And almost anyone who is in position of power in this country is politically affiliated. Pali bantu amene they are professional for the sake of profession. Sizingateke chifukwa vindictiveness. Kusakondana kumene kuma unayambira ku primary school, secondary school. Nowhere else. Yes.
Now tipange touch a little bit on umodzi pate. Munaziwika ngati munthu mmodzi amene anali ndi mfundo zake ndithu, you know, very unique type of political ideologies. Ndi chipani cha
I've just told you about one of them is Mendana primary.
You seem to be ideological. Yes, so munkaziwika kuti muna ndi ideologies anu ndi chipani cha umodzi. Komabe the fact that you have never been given have kuti mulamulire dzikoli, it simply means kuti pena pake something was amiss and Malawi sanamvesese my ideologies anu. Ndipati pamene ni mumaona kuti I think Malawi ineyo nasemphana nawo pena pake kuona mwina samati basa voti yoti kanatha kutika pampando kawo president wa dziko.
I'm saying that I've not been neglected. Also, I didn't sit up in a back. Nakha board chair, I mean, we cancelled for so many years. And so you see, serving in the nation is not chinushimozi. It's a combination of things. So as a doctor, non-private clinic yaga kulimbi, it saved a lot of people. You find good paliana panopo amenda kura manina kuti ndili mwana mnanthandiza panopo ndili moyo. So I'm happy. Okay? Come, you have to understand politics.
Yeah.
Politics, whether you are in America or South Africa, wherever it is not a game of intellectuals. Most of the people who vote are not intellectuals. They are one point minded. That's why apita nango na ndupa sanchimanga eti imakhaura. That was it, because people are thinking of bigiri chimanga. So you can talk to them about education. They've never been educated in the Malawi. So another pedagogical school, so they don't care. What do you tell them which is going to develop the nation? They are not interested. What they're interested in is what are they benefiting now. So whether you go to America, you find you are going to have Trump and his Democrats, then you are going to have in South Africa issues of xenophobia. All these things are because a majority of people are not planners. They're not interested in planning for the nation. They don't care. What they want is what is happening now. And this is the reason why you always find out that if you start a political party on your one, singa wine. Because Zipani, zimawina because of revolution. If you find out MCP number bwanji, why is a big part, you find that it is talking about federation, tamangisa zungu. That's what. And a lot of people then focus on muzungu ndo ipa, timtamangise federation. And then they all went to Kamuzu. And then they got MCP. Kamuzu as a politician, he had his strategy, which has kept MCP today for sinatengati makatani. Why did Kamuzu do? Anamangala mbumba nyumba. What did Kamuzu anatenga mbumba, anaka ku Taiwan, kayakuti. Those women in the whole country, they benefited from Kamuzu. Azukuru ao, amuna ao, abale ao, all say, they remember ubwino wa Kamuzu. This is why MCP singati chifu anthu ena pandu kunena akula munyumba zimenana manga Kamuzu kupanda nyumba za Kamuzu akanakhala munyumba za Mauzu mwina akanavutika. So they cannot stop thinking of Kamuzu. So Kamuzu's strategy of keeping MCP strong, no matter what you do, it's very difficult to destroy that party because my foundation are deep. Kamuzu anaziwa kuti Spanish. If you look at UDF, it has no foundation. That's why DPP in Angolanda. And if you look at DPP, it's strong now because it took from UDF. Chifu chimenji na wina revolutionary was Kamuzu mchose. Akutizunza, tikepo matipate, ndiye Kamuzu was targeted. So the people who, the party which came out of there was UDF. UDF won 2 terms. Bakir served 10 years as a president. And he would go, if UDF chose a leader who was UDF to the core, the big party in Malawi would have been MCP and UDF. DPP became a party in the State House after being won through UDF, and now big put Chimanga there. And everybody will not, if it's over as people are starving, climate change, DPP will always win because of Chimanga. And they don't have to do anything else. No way, because the majority of Malawians need Chimanga. And the Chimanga, DPP, you cannot beat them. And because of that, they will always be beat. So if somebody starts a party today, and expects to win, he's lying. Because obviously, I stood twice. 2014, I stood 2019, but 2025 I did not stand. Because I realized very quickly that this is a futile program because people who are voters, they don't care unless there's a revolution. So how do you create a revolution? You cannot, not easily.
So is it safe to insinuate that the smart politician is the one that leverages the illiteracy levels of Malawians?
Obviously, what do you want? What is a political party? You want to be in power. That's all. You want to be in power and control resources which are both human as well as financial as well as infrastructure. So that's what you want. So if you're a crooked person, obviously you know which is the weak point of the people and you use it against them and then they vote for you. So it's so simple that you don't even have to panic. It's just a matter of knowing the weak points of the people and they will follow you. Even if today you started a program with a organization at the end of my research, you find mad people for you. You'll be walking in the street naked. That's madness, but you can still have. I'm not saying this in a bad way, so don't misunderstand me. The more controversial you are, the more you're going to have people for you. Because people like to have a bit of excitement. And that excitement is what causes a political spin. And if you get an ideology like the one being created of giving people 500 kwacha for fertilizer and then having Chimanga all the time, you can never lose politics. And that's why Peter came back and he said, okay, Chakwera came in, he didn't understand the whole principle of politics. I think he was too much of a religious guy. Instead of actually leveraging on what DPP was doing and making it better, he created a problem. Fertilizer went up. And to him, going up fertilizer means Chimanga should go up so that the thing would come. But he forgot with Antambiri, there was no access to resources. But DPP knew that people have no resources, so he has reduced Chimanga.
Yeah, Commando Professor JC, perhaps we can say Udimina ideology and political ideology was more complex to be comprehended by ordinary Malawians. Perhaps there was a need to simplify my ideologies and Amalawa confesses into Mukamba Zotani.
I'm a professor now. How many professors do you have? So you don't expect me. What I've analyzed you today is analysis of a professor.
Yes.
So I did not join politics because I needed money. I not join politics because I'm unemployed. I joined politics because I want people like you and others to understand what is making Malawi not develop. And I had studied this. I analyzed this. So that's what I bring out. Unfortunately, people like you and me are not many. The majority of people in the village who vote for Chimanga.
Yeah.
You cannot vote for Chimanga. You know it and I know it. But they vote for Chimanga. That's what you do. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Face2Face Podcast, and my name is Victor Daffrece. And today I'm having a very interesting conversation with Professor John Chisi. Yeah, Professor, mafani visisi kuti kamene nene kuti kachitidwe kandale pamalawi panopa kanasokoneza masomphenya anu mwanjirena yake kapena you're still with your vision kuti siku lina lake muzala mlaziko lino kapena mene ndale zimaendera kumalawi kunoko zinasokoneza masomphenya anu.
What John Mziwa nchakuti ina am unique. I'm a retired professor. Okay? In other words, Mende kuonera ineyo chimene Mulungu ananikira paziko lapasi pano ndakwanisa. Ineyo chimene Mulungu ananikira paziko lapasi pano ndakwanisa. Why? I'm a professor, I've taught a lot of doctors, I've retired. And at the moment I'm a pensioner. And I enjoy my life where it is.
Yeah.
But I've got interest. Kuti anthu awone zimene onene pa moyo wanga. Kapena anthu azindikire zimene zanipangisa ndikhale chonchi. Koma ndikuziwaso kuti mphamvu zimakhala ndi anthu amene ali muzipani zazikulu amene akulamulira. Mwina akalibe mphamvu. So ngati mukumbukira bwino kale anthu amanena kuti nene wa DPP amatine candid si chonchi. Chinapangisa anthu aganiza chonchi. I support the government.
Yes.
Whichever government it is. Nthawi ya Tonse Alliance, I was one of the 9 presidents. I was supporting Chakwera.
Yeah.
Koma, after being with him and the other political people, and in a Japan, which I tell you, you can call it a briefcase party. I realized very quickly. Amara kundiziwa. Kuti ine ndilankhule kwa anthu, akuziwa zimene malankhula. I've read people on my own party without my control. Ndiye panopo, I should accept who the leaders are. I am not. I wanna be is not the same as I am. Mukuvese said. So I joined MCP. Why? MCP, they know my talent. Agakhani makoka sawo. As me as a member, they can be free to call on me and say, we are our member, we want all these things, if they want to. But I cannot judge that because the Polity Bureau of MCP, I'm not in it because I joined them in the way after everything else. So it's up to the Polity Bureau of MCP to understand. What people should know is that MCP might be out of power now, but still remains a big party. The only 2 parties in Malawi is Menanto Azikara Kutauziangana and rely on themselves to either DPP or MCP. There's no other party which can get that history. I told you already, with MCP singa chifua, you cannot carry good, you cannot carry UDF. See, MCP singa, no matter what happens, chifua, Parliament generation and Hambida Minabaga benefit from MCP. Okay? DPP. Seeing at Teso because of my police amenasi ya bingu and infrastructure amenasi ya bingu. If you're talking about infrastructure development ya Zikolino, participants good is okay. You can talk about it. UDF was there, but you can never really mention tangible things UDF did apart from changing Mzuzu Teacher College to Mzuzu University, whatever. But new infrastructure, they never created it. And I be Masompenya manage. And they were still working with Taiwan when Bingu came and they went to China, and China has done a lot more things. We have got parliament now. We've got in data. These things are tangible, and they've been done by these 2 parties, in short. So you will notice kuti ngati munthu akufuna kuti atenge ngawo bandale Malawi, you either belong to MCP or DPP. Koma zina as inde, because democracy. Koma they cannot reach that level. If you think I'm lying, I could give you an example of Saulos Chilima. Saulos Chilima had everything. He had everything. He had the same campaign tools as any party. Saru mbwe, Maganimoto mbwe, Masanja mbwe, Anyamata ose kumimbira. When Saulos was having a party, everybody was there. He didn't win. Yes. Okay. It's because there was no revolution. He was creating a revolution for himself or for Malawi to follow him, but they didn't want it because they already did not see why they can change that. Yeah, that's the reason why. So it's always going to be
perhaps that could be the reason behind him always advocating for mindset change, perhaps?
No, you cannot change a mindset in a culture where you still select people from primary school, secondary school. You can't. They will hate each other. People here don't like each other. You know as well as if you ask somebody, and you cannot ask your friend out even if they have. Yeah, this is not a culture of mindset change because in Ambia Tirana. And we lie. It's our culture. Ndiye mindset change amalankula zambugu. Because mindset change you need to start from the grassroots. I am a Malawian. I am John Chisi.
Yes.
I'm influenced by my country, but with both my parents. If my parents are not good at Kuba, you cannot tell me I cannot stop stealing because I was taught by my father to be a thief. Yeah. So if I'm living with a father who is corrupt and is a top official in a system which is living on corruption money, and we know that they're being corrupt, you think I also being corrupt myself in Nikafika Pampando? No. I'm influenced by that. So now Kamuzu kunali basement because Kamuzu in courts was a disciplinarian, amat unity, discipline and whatever, and discipline ya Kamuzu nali serious. If one how many ama quota. The courses were big and people were afraid. So he was using what you call psychology classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Classical conditioning umamenya. Okay, so he was using classical. Open and conditioning, you give reward. Okay, so I want you to do something good, I will give you a reward. I'll say, if you do this, I'll give you so much money. You do good. Comma, if you don't do, you don't get the money. If I tell you don't do this and you don't do it, I'll whip you. You still do it because you're afraid of being whipped. So Camus was using the classical conditioning, which was working for fear. Open conditioning is democratic and it requires people to make a decision. And that decision means that if I'm a thief, I can steal and then go to court. And if the court is corrupt or people in court are corrupt or get away with it, then I'll continue stealing because I know that I'm protected. Yeah. So, zinthu izi zimateka patali ndiye amunthu anya kuti haya maise change amanama sizingateke. Yeah. Koma iyeso ngati munthu anandivuto, he didn't have respect for the elders, which is our Malawian culture. Amani napita kuti ndokuba akadya kuti ndrama imunthu atanamsankha kuti akhale pa level ya vice president namphunzitsa zoti machita mu presidency zosaziwa ndiye kupita ku podium rudeness. That's what our culture. So and as he didn't win because a lot of chiefs were like mwana uyu alibe khalidwe sitingamvotere. Yeah. So it is a lot of things which create a leader in a nation. So there's a lot of things which destroy leaders in a nation. So if you want to be a leader, go for leadership, you need to understand who the people you are working with and who they are. And you have to respect them first and foremost. If you don't make them, they don't work.
You did touch on the Tonse Alliance, and I'm really interested to hear it from you. Was Tonse Alliance really meant to change things in Malawi, or was it just a marriage of convenience that was said to oust DPP government then?
No, I think Tonse, 90% were fooled because there's no constitution in Malawi for Tonse. It doesn't exist.
So we were fooled and you were part of that formulation of Tonse Alliance.
Yeah, but politicians will do it because we want to sell ourselves. You see, Ineyo, I was not there because I knew I would be anything. No, I was selling myself. So I humbled myself, as you would put it that way. I used to say, in Malawi, there's no constitution of Tonse. There's no constitution of government of national unity. Doesn't exist. So even if you did, when you go to the constitution of Malawi, it doesn't exist. So the presidency, if they want to work with you, they can't. Yeah, because there's nowhere where it says if you want together, you should do together. Now a party which wins has got a lot of vouchers for obvious reasons. I mean, people have spent their money, their time campaigning. They cannot give to somebody who they think is a competitor. And some people like us, well, they know that we have got ambition of presidency. So no president will put you closer because they know you become a competitor. So that's part of life. But at the same time, if you have your nation, you take part in the governance so that the people benefit from your time. But not necessarily that you're a leader. You can be a very good follower and still contribute a lot. And leaders, what they hate is to expose who has given them ideas. So if I give an idea to the president, I should not come and say I've given the idea. You should get the praise himself as if it is his idea. Me, I should be at the back. But if I also have a mission of a presidency, then I advise him, then they put primary school, secondary school together, say, Chisi and his local president. That's why some of these things are not implemented. Because presidents don't like not to be the ones who start. They are not superhuman. They're like everybody else. Amafuna glory zipita kwa hiyo. Ndiye ngati munthu wanena policy. So if I wanted primary school, secondary school, kuti take Malawi, ndikanakhala pay. Ndikana kupita kwa Peter, kapena kwa Chakwera nthawiyo, ndikukatamphuna zimenezo in privacy. Akanapanga ndiwo pa stadium, ndiye you would have thanked him. Komabo ndazinena. That's why they're not working. Chifukwa sangapanga izinto nanena ine. Sizingateke. Oh no, Chisi, my dear Chisi amene. Combine them outside. There's no president who doesn't like to be president. Your Excellency, sir. Oh.
So, Professor, among the things that were encapsulated in the Tonse Alliance Pact, that agreement still remain unclear, and some of the agreement means and then we saw the late Dr. Chilima claiming the agreement was that he, or rather, Chakwera should run for 5 years, and then 5 years in as abange iwo malema Chilima, and his indices have been disputed. And wazipanga dispute MCP and wazipanga dispute. Ndimafuna ndimve from someone that was in the Tonse Alliance. What was the truth behind the Tonse Alliance agreement?
What was Chilima? Chilima?
Yeah, we're not trying to point who the problem was.
No, you have to be honest. No. You have to be honest.
But we want
we
want you to unpack.
I'm going to unpack you.
Yes, unpack. Unpack.
Don't stop me.
Yes, unpack.
I joined Chilima as part of his group. There was a group for MCP, and there was a group for UTM.
UTM, yes.
I was UTM group.
Yeah.
But you know that he never called me for a meeting even once. On the Tonse Alliance, I came through him, but he never called me for a meeting even once. He never even heard my point of view. So don't think whatever he was saying was true. You know, I'm telling you the truth now. If there's anybody in UTM today should come and refute what I'm saying, Chilima never talked to me, and I was part of him. And I knew that was a problem because Chilima had already decided at that time that me I was more of a daddy boy. Because you don't forget that I was a cadet. I was more close to Peter, and I would respect Peter like nobody's business. He didn't like that. But when I went there, I also knew that panopo ugu zikuvuta, DPPC win. But me, I'm young. I want to study in politics. So that's why I came at Njamba and I said, Chilima need more, meaning refuse me in public if you think this is going to work for you. So he was upset because I didn't go beg for him. I just went on his rally and basically said those words. So after that, he was very upset with me because he never called me for a meeting. We never discussed anything. I just went straight on Njamba and said those words. I never met him again face to face until the Tonse Alliance was resolved. That's what happened. And on my side. So
you intentionally said that on at Njamba just to frustrate him?
No, but to be part of the Tonse Alliance because he was not going to accept it.
But why didn't you pull out? If a person is not involving you into that agreement, why didn't you pull out?
I was not interested in him as an individual. I was interested in him for my nation to participate at the highest level. So that meant that whenever the meeting of Tonse, I was there. But I knew that those meetings don't mean anything because they were not constitutional. But we are getting ideas. But we never made any policy. We never created any law which parliament debated because of us. Everything were just briefed, but it was a briefing like we were briefing each other here. So to me, the very fact that I was with them in the State House and talking to them was a progress on my side. I'm a politician. So the closer to power you are, the better. So Chilima himself, had he wanted me to become a minister because I came through him, for Chilima would have advocated. Chisi is part of my group. I want him because of whatever he saw in me to be Nduna. But he didn't want. That's why I never became Nduna. Obviously, he chose other people, which he contributed. None of a person of Umo's party went to an embassy. Because he was not happy with me. The way I done my politics. I could not go to him and ask him for a favor because you have to understand that Peter Mutharika had decided that he wanted him to be a successor. That's why he made him the vice president. He chose him from there and made him a successor for him. Now what Chilima had to do was to wait and be patient. This time we would have been talking about him as a president. Because people would have served these 2 terms. This time he would have said about time, my vice president is what I'm advocating. Chilima would be president today. But since Peter, in his wisdom as a leader, he knows that there should be transitions and there should be continuation of power, but the young people have to be brought in. To be brought in from nowhere to a vice president in a party where everybody is a vulture is not a joke, my friend. Yeah. But Chilima was lucky. Yeah. So, me, I was very close to the president at that time because he made me the board chair of Medical Council. In that process, I also ended up being the vice chair of Medical Associations of Africa chairmanship. He exposed me to the international community. So I had a lot of respect, and I still remain respectable to Peter me. You know, Arthur Peter Mutharika is an academic. And academic mentor people. That's what we do. So what has confused Peter today? Ngati president Peter Mutharika ndo dandaura. Abena ningawa. He's confused about what he should do with the party. Chifukani hamene amamuli mbikira mu Chipani when he was out, when he realized himself, and how Abuna Singa say Chipani. Because Peter was not going to stand. If you remember about it, it took him a long time to die. Why? Succession plan Why Peter, he put his all energy in Chilima. Chilima disappointed him. But he still forgave him and let him run as a vice president to Chakwera. What happened later? You know what happened, the SATA issues, whatever, my exposure, whatever. Just, he was trying to teach him, young man. That is Mafuna Kufasa. But Chilima did not. And I regret that Chilima left us the way he did, because he had a huge potential with his energy and his ideas to run this country. But he did not understand politics. Because in him, he thought it was power of convincing everybody else, managing everybody else. He didn't understand the things mezimachitika pasi, mafumu, how they feel. Anyamata angakhala kuvinire koma they don't mean anything. They are t-shirt yako, and t-shirt ya MCP, omwana t-shirt ya Ford.
So Professor Chisi, ndimafuna mulunjike chindunji bwinobwino muti masule bwinobwino musazungulire mufa timvesese kuti kodi mu mgwirizano wa Tonse Alliance uja ndifuna papa mundiyankhe direct ndizoonadi kuti achilima makamaka achakwera amene kokhala ndi 5 years malemu achilima kukhalanso ndi 5 years ina ndifuna mundiyankhe bwinobwino ngati munthu amene munali nawo mu agreement imeneyi.
Sindingayankhe chifukwa Chilima sanandiyitane ineyo kunifotokoza zimene mu agreement nakuwuzani kale kuti napita pa podium ineyo kuziwa kuti anthu azafuna kuti tonsefe tikhale pamodzi koma Chilima didn't want me. Inangopita pajokazi pachikandeka. That's why nana mawu akuti Chilima ndi mamwali mozi mowa kuti iye andikane pagulu anthu ndi anthu amazikwe kuti munthu utani. Yesu anandikane koma sanandiyitanepo kunifotokozera kuti agreement iyi pakati pa ine ndi Chakwera takuzana mwakuti ndiye ngati amanena Chilima akuziwa yekha koma ine sindikuziwa koma ineyo nesa mundivesese tu ineyo nesa tinalowa ku Tonse Alliance through Chilima. Koma ife tonsefe kwakana muzanesa nesa kana nduzi koma nesa kuzo chichonse
Koma ngati anthu
ngakhale kamuzichiwamboso nalowa limozi ku Chilima ndipo kamchoma kanaziwa akanatifotokozera koma palibe amene akuziwa maziwa Chilima ndi Chakwera ndiye zinthu zawiriyo ife sitikuziwa chifukwa ngakhale mene amakumana zokuzandiziko amakumana awiri ife kunalipa.
But Professor Chisi, this must be said to the voters. Ngati anthu andali nokha mumasewerana choncho anthu amene mukuyeneka kusewera mpira wa background ndipo kuti munthu amene akuvoterani
ife sitimasewerana yani amala amafuna kuti tigwirizane ifeso monga ineyo ndinafuna naziwa kale kuti apita aina kupuma at least because of the way ntchito adayigwira ndiye muona amene abwera pano energized koma nthawi imene janani pressure kwambiri so anthu amati anthu numugwirizane Chilima ndi Chakwera kaya anapanga chani zawozo koma ifeyo honestly speaking ineyo as umodzi party president nthawi imeneja meeting imene mapita ine inali achigulu tonsefe tikaitaniro ku State House koma meeting ya ine ndi Chilima ngati partner wa Chilima ayi kunalibe chifukwa ngati panali munthu amene akanapanga advocate za Chilima ndikanakhala ineyo chifukwa ndikukumbukira ineyo Chilima atamanga mundivesese tu chifukwa ine sinatenge oath so ine ndikhoza kunena zimene makambiana ngati ku State House kuchi Chilima anazabwera nana kuti leroro we should solve this problem ya succession nanena ineyo as John Chisi nana kuti nkhani imeneyo mukakambirana nokha awiri ndi Chakwera ife kunalibe and I totally said that in the group of all of 9 of us and it was me kuyamba nkhani jasinakambidweso nana kuti kanufuna kukamba nkhanizi ife musatiphake matope musatibwerese kuno kuti zikupangana advocate zoti munatuze chifukwa mukanakhala mutatuza tikakhala ndi kokasi koma kokasi kunalibe mutibweresa muno ambushing us I told him I don't want to hear about this story mukakambirana nokha that's how it ended and from that Nkanija was not tabled on the Tonse Alliance meeting in Medinari ku State House. And it was me. They can quote me. I am free because I never took an oath of secrecy. Ningana kan oath of secrecy singana kuzani minutes.
Wande munatu anthu athu achiswa tunde mwinalo ndi adyera. Nanga chisa malowa zinthu zoti osakuzimvesesa bwinobwino munthu ophunzira ngati amene professor kumapanga zinthu zoti iwo osakuzoti mu agreement mwa muli chani. Kapena mwina niyo mnali muku yangana zina zake kusogolo kuti amwene bwa tingolowamo tizakhale mtima udindo tinatake mu boma.
Nkhani sidyera nkhani simaudindo nkhani ndi kutenga bwanji pa gulu lako pa ziko lako and how you contributing munthu andale mundivesese umakhala pafupi ndi anthu komanso pafupi ndi asogoleri kuti uthandizire zimene zikupanga apa padakuuzani nkhani imene inali ya private nakuuzani pano ndikanakhala kulibe mkanazipa zimene chifukwa mkanakhala kuti mukama zinthu zomwezo chifukwa ine anena chifukwa normally mkapita ku State House matenga oath kuzaso zimene ukamera pano sizakhale only the people amene asankhidwa ine sinatekepo oath simnaone kuchisa ime apena pake ndi Bible kuti zimene zilankhula pano but sinatekepo oath so I am free to speak because there was no oath. Koma nkhani yayikulu inali yakuti amalawi amafuna kuti pakhale Tonse Alliance. Ine nabwesa mavota ambiri umene uja. Chifukwa ine I know for wanganga imakhala yochepa because nthawi zambiri tikamakhala kuti upanga ndale sinimakhala ndi mamonita zokwanira. Ndinganakhala mamonita zimene amakhala ndi MCP kapena DPP ineyo pa every level. Even mamonita zimene ananayo Chilima ine would have been a president of this country already. Anthu amene amandifuna ndi ambiri.
Are you sure about that?
You know ukamayenda anthu mena amakulankhulira and you are aware of where it started. There's no way amalawi angasiye munthu amene akufuna kubweresa umozi kumazikuziko umozi party. There's no way chipani chokhacho adiwa chipani chokhacho umozi. There's no way. Even if people were not normal they would not live as somebody who talk umozi and there's no way anthu angasiye munthu amene afuna kuti ana osaphunzire mofanana. There's no way anthu angasiye munthu amene akufuna kupanga decentralized government to the point kuti tipange ma regions, ma provinces, I mean, koma province imene tipange ma zone officers amene aziyang'anira kumalo kwawo. For example, Blantyre to be divided mu 4 zones, north, south, east and west. DC wa ku north azikhala ku north, azipanga zawo za ku north kokhako with their budget. Wa ku south budget ndame ya Blantyre ikamachoka ikhale kuti yapanga kava ma zone onse. Koma because we created provinces, ma districts 3 akhale province with a provincial governor. Provincial governor apange campaign kuti Chitipa, Rumphi and Karonga, one province. Province imeneyo zokufunika nzaku zakuti apange campaign, and then with his 4 people for the district, that means 12 people. 12 civil servants, him a politician, managing that province. I mean, you find kuti zimene akupanga panopo DPP is not very different by putting 5 billion in every constituency. That's his own thing. You know, at the end of the day, anthu akumuza akupanga decision worker. Koma yasenthika. Now you have got a lot of investors in Malawi, but you know that was Umodzi Party manifesto. To Tonse Alliance. If you go in Umodzi Party manifesto, ya 2014, you find that is already there. So now you have got investors which has expanded. Koma manifesto yoyamba. You come to Umodzi Party. Go check manifesto ya Umodzi Party 2014. You are going to find that we are planning to have 15 investors, decentralize UNIMA, then get some of these private investors like Catholic investors, whatever, subsidize them so that they can also have resources equivalent, that they don't become totally independent because the fees will be high. So what did all those things happen? It was part of the manifesto of Umodzi. So there's no way. Ziko sitting of hotel, we're saying 3 factors every district. 3 factors every district. So industrialization process, every district has got 3 factors. So if you look at the province, 3 districts, each of them having 3 factories. A province will have how many factories? 9. Are you going to send people to Blantyre kapena kulilongwe? They will stick there. So we have got a plan. It's so comprehensive. Kuti Malawi cannot votera kapena if we had people who want to become our MPs, people who want to become our councillors. This cannot happen. Nakusanikale kuti anthu ambiri amavotera ma revolutionary times of the party. Either you want to transition from this or that. If people are at peace, they don't want to change. So because of that, my ideas ndamenewo. Another implemented indirectly, for example, University Panopo is decentralized, which is okay, we're happy about that, but it's going to take because people are still thinking the Kamu's way. The same way, my primary school, secondary school, now, I could take her indirectly because now we are going to find that my community pafupi and it's almost the same. They are still selecting. If it even to a chosen section here.
Yeah. So adatisia maremu Chilima, may he so rest in peace. Pa ngozi ya ndege anthu osiyana na yankhulapo anthu andale anthu amene ali ndi influence kumalawi kunoko koma zidaoneka kuti inu ya Chisi mudasankha kukhala chete. Tinene kuti muna chimene chinali chisoni chachikulu kapena padali chifukwa chimene niyo munasankha kuti mukhale chete at that particular critical time in the history of Malawi.
Tosavete malira tanti malira mosiyana palibe vuto pamenepo. Tanti malira mosiyana anthu ena amalira mwakuti ife malira mosiyana basi zinatha titokoze Mulungu kuti chikondi chake anatipasa Chilima amene anali bold enough kulankhula za ndale kuti dziko lino likhale opened up. So anagwira ntchito yake nayenso. Ndiye tonse tizagwira ntchito yathu tizapita Mulungu yekha kuziwa njira yopitira tonse njira zathu tivomereze. Ndiye ine nthawi zambiri ndimadandaula kwambiri ngati anthu akuona kuti closure isapangike chifukwa akamapanga zinthu zawo zikaya mainkwari chimene akufuna kwenikweni ndi chani? Chimene akufuna kwenikweni ndi chani? Ndege ya army, leader Chakwera, anthu amene ali momuja akufuna moyo wawo, ndege yakale inali mavuto ake, weather inali apo, koma anthu they still thinking koma tikula mosiyana ningosiya chonchi chifukwa mukapanga mainkwari amene mukuhoza kupanga it's very difficult zinthu zimene jakupeza what actually happened chifukwa palibe munthu amafuna ataye kokonero wake tonse fesi tikufuna ataye kokonero we are mourning for Chilima so we mourn differently anthu ena closure imakhala yosavuta anthu ena closure imachedwa ndiye seems in political terms chifukwa zimene zikuchitika pano za ndale za ku parliament that means closure anthu andale is different from closure anthu ena chifukwa mainkwari apangidwa mbiri kaya awiri kaya atatu koma people are not having closure. So I'm saying, tikapanga zonsezo. At the end of it, ndege inali ya army, it was an odd car. Who are we going to blame? Are we going to blame the army? Are we going to blame the president? Are we going to blame the pilot who passed on? Do we have evidence ya pilot mwini wake anamwalira could tell us what actually happened to ndege? We are insinuating out of things. Koma so pambena bake tikuona kuti zinthu izi mwina zinali mwakuti koma amene angaziwe kwenikweni pilot chifani mene amayendesa ndege akanakhala moyo akanathandiza koma he's not there. So tikhoza kuona zinthu zambiri. And wawa morning ndiye tivomereze kuti tosefe kuloja zakhala banthawi yake mendaonera. Koma assuming you find kuti pali mavuto a black box kachani. Now you have to understand kuti the army have got their own protocol. Passenger planes ya public have got their own protocol. So what protocol are we going to look at? Are we going to look at the passenger protocol? Yandege za private or army protocol for their own thing? Maybe the army itself does not want my black box because akamapanga zao za surveillance amafuta kutazwika pangachani. You know, the army has got its own protocols, has its own secrets yao. What is happening? So I don't know. I get confused because I don't know what it is that we want. We cannot bring Chilima back. But should we have a closure where at the end of the day tikawekana ngatiziko kapena tidanende anthu ena, because at the end of the day it's either going to be the army or it's going to be MCP, it's going to be Chakwera, whatever it is, because they had power. But they were not there. And whatever Chakwera was fed as a president was fed by other people. And the whole thing, because Chakwera was not there. So information Chakwera and if that information was not right, that means on background. So why are we going to blame?
I just think it simply means that the inquiry is very necessary because you have got questions that need to be answered.
No.
You too have got questions
that need to be answered.
I'm looking at the closure. You're looking at the closure, but you are posing questions.
No, those questions, I'm not posing anything. I'm saying, as a Malawian, we have to move forward. Chilima wetamuluza. But we want peace in this country. If we're looking at issues which we cannot solve. Because the one person who can tell us what happened to that plane, honestly, the pilot.
We digress, Professor Chisi. Before I Mkanya governance, providing checks and balances, okay? Particularly from the opposition. Are you impressed? You are a member of Malawi Congress Party. Are you impressed by your party's role in ensuring that the current regime is held accountable? Are you impressed?
You know, what is it that you really want from issues of governance in politics? Do you want people to have the chimanga? Do they have it? The budget, wait a minute, the budget system which was put by government, the opposition have analyzed it, yes? And they've passed it. So I thought we were waiting for the delivery of all the things. So what is it that we really want? If you're saying you're in opposition, what are you opposing? Or what do you want to do construction? Because construction was done, the parliament has finished, and it is now Sandai, meaning that and who akuona kuti zinthu zichitika bwanji pa ground. My MP, are they doing their constituent development fund? Are they bringing chitukuko or not? Because you have to understand kuti boma ndiro koma ma rewards, ma benefits, they're everywhere. They're ku MCP, they're ku DPP. So if production kapena delivery si kupangika bwinobwino, society kupanga bwinobwino, you cannot blame anyone. Because the government basically left the thing there. Here's money, deliberate, take it and sort it out. So what is it that we need? So when somebody says, oh, you're opposing, no, you don't. Come on, okay. Adibi amara kuisapena. And this I'm not going to lie. They cannot use tear gas to confirm a president. Akupanga match. Peter would have called Chakwera the day before. Ku State House. Chakwera namba kuti muda ndaula ndi zinthu izi. Ineyo ngati president wanu sindingapiteko. Koma political thing imene makhamu nalipo president nanuso. Zikhoza bwesa mpunge people might misunderstand you and me. Because me I'm your friend, you are we're not enemies of all Malawians. Please, as a leader of opposition, either you don't go there, you are sila china chimwendo ndi anthu apange, or if you want to go, wait where I will explain ngati anthu awiri kwamba noma musapite ndikuziwa kuti munapanga zimenezo koma bomaso limene munalipangira ndi limeneli. You might not be the president, but the boma is still continuing with your legacy. Munapanga ndino. Ife sinona kuti tasiya kulemekeza kamuzo ayi. Timulemekeza koma munjira yakuti ineyo as a president panopo I cannot go. If I was with you, we could hug each other. Tikanapanga zonse ngati limozi, tikanaperekera mwina limozi marifu kapena mukanapita ino mukanapita ino koma panopo ine kulibe. Anthu they will misunderstand that. They will still think that you're a president. Ndiye zimene sizabwino akanakambirana. Ndiye akanakana Chakwerayo na malomba akananena kuti ife Chakwera tapempha kumulemekeza koma kuti kanira ndiye zimene zikagweko siza tonse ife ngati boma sitifuna pungwe chifukwa anthu ma followers are emotional ndiye ziko lino ndikufuna chani bata nitendere koma zimene kupanga zathu zikoza kuposa pungwe ndiye Chakwera ndiye MCP yanu yo ngani mufuna kupanga zimenezi please muziwe kuti at the end of it we have got a nation to keep koma so boma silingalole kuti muzipanga match as if you are the president chifukwa ife mene munali president sinabwera nawo ku Kamuzu Day you know that we didn't want Kamuzu koma sifene mabwera nawo why but there was no time when DPP went to Kamuzu Day when Chakwera was in power they would have gone but they didn't because they understand kuti atambarawi somebody amkhwala most so Chakwera wants atambarawi amkhwala most so that is advice in MCP yena kuvomereza chifukwa they are not in power anymore koma so panopo sanga pange political marriage nthawi yoti sinakwane the only political marriage ikhale pafupi in my elections kuti anthu azikumbukira kulo ndi kutali so DPP inati gas Chakwera which was not right which I think was wrong komaso
the DPP kapena police
chimozi if the DPP said no they would not the minister that's why I've got the minister of internal affairs because he's asked political things are always asked by the politicians otherwise they have got a political connotation ndiye wasati mnganene kuti amkutosa maziwa that's why he came to defend it he says analibe chanchilolezo in other words there was no communication between them and the government so government cannot allow to be undermined when they have got the power it's normal I mean how many people did Chakwera arrest DPP when he was in power it's normal koma nkhani ndi yakuti tikafika zaziko tiyana kulemekeza because what happened there to me was I'm sure Mama was also there when they did those tear gases which was not acceptable I'm sure Mama was part of that group there's no way she would not have been so but my state person analipo Chakwera analipo koma Chakwera ine aki panopo ngati iwo akadali ndi ambition ya president asiye in so far as Peter is doing things they can be there but if Peter is not doing alemekeze Peter akuyendesa mmene akuzira iye so they cannot tell Peter what to do Peter our president knows what he's doing according to mmene afuna iwo Peter mtalikawo ndiye MCP singauze kuti mupange chakuta chifukwa panopo they are not in power in the DPP even if they oppose achita kuwapanga oppose political things but not things which have respect for history
Professor Chisi so here's the counter argument anthu amanena kuti MCP mukwamadandaula kuti apolisi anathira tear gas a president anu MCP muzikumbukira kuti it is the same police the very same police imeneso inaonerera namiwa kumenyedwa kulilongwe kucha the same police nde panopa inu mukapange complain kuti akuthira tear gas foti tabwa la sintha so can we comfortably say kuti this is a lesson to politicians in how they use state organs
politics is not a tit for tat you have to be above board ngati Chakwera mafuna political marriage nimendanene kana kha political marriage kwa panopo is just embarrassment I don't think he got any political marriage and for DPP they will never like Chakwera again because he has been humiliated come at the same time if he did what they have told to spokesperson he should have had his press conference the day before you know even the day before akananena pa press conference pepa na mara zanga sindikhala nawo mawa chifukwa ndi lulendo wopita kwina kwake koma Kamuzu mkumbukire knowing pretty well that he would have said that ine Kamuzu mamkonda I would have loved to be pa group la chani pa group la anthu amene ali ku mausoleum koma ina msivanga mtima pasi sindibwera because I've been tied up tingombe mphira Kamuzu amatikonda knowing kuti amkanira you would not have gone there kuti atikanira because that's trying to create political capital for something which political capital cannot be created so leadership nimafuna kuzichepesa because if he said that DPP would have been embarrassed more than MCP because you would have become on top of MCP
so let us talk about your transitioning from Umodzi Party to Malawi Congress Party mutasogolera Umodzi Party kwa zaka zambiri yes which I believe Umodzi Party is your brainchild
sure
so, we can comfortably say that Umodzi Party is your brainchild I wanted to understand the transformation what really inspired you kuti muisie this was your baby it was your trademark unumwamisa chipani achisi chipani chinachuka chimene chimwe achisiya munapanga ka abandon whatsoever anthu aja nkuwasiya ndikukatsatira chipani cha MCP chinakukopani nchani kuti mupite ku MCP
I'm a politician okay in other words I think politics I analyze politics I understand politics
yes
why did I start Umodzi Party ndikanali wazipani zazikulu poyambira if I joined DPP or MCP simunganandiziwa because I would have no political capital.
Yes.
Nikanakhala MP. Achina Ken Lipenga, you know, they were MPs, Ken Lipenga and Anzat Kumbuyo Kaminacho Kama University. They just joined the big party. They became ministers, and that was the end of the story. Me, I wanted policy. I did not want to go to the Karimun Hote, Ningo Satiras into command. You always a Malawi policy yanga. You mean easy. No policy in that. Campaign ya 2014 napanga policy naye zungazikosa mara kwa zantu primary school secondary school mara mozi mazone officers mindadala nkulazo policy yanga yateka 2019 napanga so policy yanga Malawians know me ngakhale panopo ndajo na chipanja chikulu even if they keep me quiet it's fine simwanditana apa nimkana policy yanga mkana somkana nditana
kana kuita
policy yanga simkana ziwa if I didn't create my own party nikupanga policy mkana nditana somkana nditana I would non-starter.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so now I'm a starter because I started a platform which opened people what I need. Now it's different phase. Now this phase of governance. Is that a DPP, is that a MCP, or anybody who is strong to invite me to my areas. So from what I've seen, MCP is likely going to go in a transitional aspect because Chakwera is the only president who has served for only one term. Peter, anapanga one term, but anamchosa ni Chakwera. Bingu anapanga 2 terms, Bakiri anapanga 2 terms. Joyce Banda anapanga less than a term because of Maliro. So the only party now, if it strategizes itself very well, and it comes up when the ant was weaker kwa Malawi, kabena masaje zabwino, yokozamba that party should definitely have me in power, or have me in power either as an MP or as a governor or something like this. Because that's the only way we can participate. If these 2 parties don't pick me for anything, I will still be here talking like this. But my influence will not come. Because you know, that's your politics in the lower capacity. I'm not so politics. I've retired from university. So the only way, Nigasi and I will pass. I will always be a politician. Now, that thing Spanish schools with Benzingani in power. Because no other party can put me in power of anything. It's one of those 2 parties. Because the other parties cannot win. Mugamba Chipande Banobo sitting at Teg and Daguzanikare Kuti sitting at Teg because people like a revolution. Unless you create a revolution now, Mutan NDM, the DPPO, Mamdanaja, MCP na dead because we were saying Chipajimos, Changhas. As Amunda, Munawata Mangis. But where would you start hating DPP? And where would you start hating MCP? Paribe. It's only governance issues which are not revolutionary. So the panels, the Zara Mulira, America, they've got Democrats and Republicans. Britain, they've got Conservative and Labour. If you go to South Africa, they've got ANC. If you go to Tanzania, Chamanya. If you go to Mozambique, you have got Federalism. You cannot change parties in power if there's no revolution. The only way which can change power in power is revolution. And I'm talking as a professor now. I'm talking as a person who does research, who analyzes things. So that if I play a role in Malawi politics, it has either to be the MCP or DPP, depending on what people feel. Not in Umo's party. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
You don't do the same thing twice and you get the same results and then expect to continue. That means you're stupid. I'm not.
But it means that you knew minimum say Umo's party. The ideology. You had a unique ideology, which means Sumangabide MCP and Ugabwe some ideologies and Gumenuchi. Chimani structure zaki. I didn't my ideologies. I mean ambisa time in entire Muzumpa na Panova, which means Anwaja Fufutiga. So a person that abandoned his own ideologies. MCP does not have a manifesto. It never had a manifesto. Kamuzo just saying I broke stupid federation. Kamuzo never had a manifesto. Kamuzo never campaigned for manifesto. If anything, manifesto was a MCP in power in area Chilima. MCP was talking about high five. What does that mean? Now they went on telling people hats up sana drama. They don't have a manifesto. Analuza because they didn't have the manifesto. So which means I thought Chilima had analyzed the situation and he had seen some of what I had written. I'm not saying he copied everything from me, but he understood my talking and he realized what it was about. But the MCP, as a party today, they brought out a manifesto which confused people. And they cannot come up with a manifesto. Someone has mentioned the sovereign fund. Who understands that? Peter said, Mudia Chimanga Chabwe. In other words, simplify idea. If you're a big party, people will vote for you. But don't bring them things which you want to implement. Common Sanders warning, you implement those when you're in power. Not when you're not, but you cannot tell people. So there are things you don't do. There are things which you do. Chufwa,
amafuna straightforward straightforward thing. Ineyo nimanena mawatatu. Employment for justice for all. You remember this?
Yes.
Yeah. So I speak on education for. So education for, employment for, justice for. Manena. Bas, nikamanga kampeni yani manje mfundo zazo zitatu zokhazo.
Yeah. Ndani ramana kuti zibane zingono kumalayi kuno zimaziphatikiza dala kuzibane zikulu chifukwa choti anthu ake washota amaza kuti uku kwauma uku tipite kwa amene ali mbomawa kuti atisi tizipeza kukashuga.
I think there's a misunderstanding.
There's a misunderstanding.
There's no
but the MCP that you joined was the MCP that was in power. Would you join MCP if it was out of power?
I'm still MCP now.
You're still MCP now, but you joined prior to them being ousted from power.
I not just MCP because I was eating there. No. I joined MCP because I respected Chakwera. I did not want to go on a podium and talk about my president who was looking after Jerusalem because my weakness is an RMB. And on top, my weakness is Chakwera and RMB. He would take time to make decisions. At the same time, he didn't even know how to solve things which are complicated. And he was trusting too many people who really were misleading him. We all knew that. Now, some of us was aware. Yeah. Papodi abutikana khanga china chilima kukamba zinthu zosalemekeza akuluakulu. So we decided kuti ife tilemekeza akuluakulu tisakambe chifukwa tikakamba emotional itipeza tikamba zinthu will burn bridges mwana tikhanda mara chifukwa there are people who are passionate MCP, they can kill for the party. There are people who are passionate for DPP, they can kill for the party. So you as a politician, you want all those to be your people. You don't want to divide people and come yourself with uzienda mwacheucheo kabena utamangisidwa pamene wabwera because people are emotionally charged because you have said the wrong thing. So in politics you want to bring people together as Umos Party, which is my ideology. It will never change.
Yes.
But Umos Party cannot take me to power. It's not possible because there's no revolution in Malawi. If there was a revolution, if people were demonstrating, it would happen. Remember in Senegal, Macky Sall, when he was giving power to those two people, those people were in jail. That put them in jail. People were demonstrating everywhere. When they came out, they campaigned and they won. And if Chilima was put in jail, I'm sure people would have demonstrated. And because of that, the government would have been pushed to release him and he would have won. But anyway, that's another hindsight of what we think. You have to create a reason for people to change their mindset from the leader to somebody new. And that is not easy. So you cannot be starting a new party today and expect it to win. No way. And you will never get an MP to stand for you. You never get a councillor to stand for you. You never have enough resources because people are not going to volunteer their money for something they cannot win.
Don't you think it's a matter of lacking strategy? Because Bingu anachoka ku UDF kujamsa DPP. Aibanga sustain DPP mpaka na ndino ilibana.
You don't understand. Bingu started with UP.
Yeah, he started with UP in 1999
and he did exactly what I'm doing now. He left. But me, I did not go there for convention. Bing went at the convention. And they chose him at convention. Me, I never went there as a convention. But he, being a professor like myself, he had understood that his body would not help him. Koma yeye ana relationship in Ndani, Ndi Bakiri. Because don't forget that he was the Secretary General of Commerce. And Bakiri had a problem. He could not find a person, also not Madea according to him, in his party. So because he had Madea everywhere, he wanted 30 million Nakanika. The party has gone, and life has gone. It was out of all the Madeias he had, he didn't want. So he brought somebody who he thought was better. So Bing was coaxed, and Bakiri campaigned for him. Without that, he was getting one. Me, I was even getting more votes when Bing was actually on his own when I was doing my most part. He was getting 1-0-2. Exactly how I was getting. Him went that way. Me, I'm not doing that way. Because I just want to join a party. When they've got a convention 2030, hopefully, because I'm part of that party from the beginning. A convention, a campaign, we do whatever they do in convention, maybe they will choose me. And if they do choose me, fine. If they don't choose me, I'll stand as MP. And see the possibility of becoming in parliament and then become somebody else. But that is political game and calculation.
Yes. So, Chisi, hypothetically speaking, if someone as vibrant, let's say, let's not mention names, but if someone vibrant comes and rejuvenates umodzi party, chipandi chapizoti chajaga nditu chakhala chipandi champhamvu kumalawi kunoko, would you be comfortable run against umodzi party or muthu zasintha mawanga kuti iya chipandi chinayambisa ndine ndibwerereso kumene?
Panopo the person who's running it, Kawamba, is always on the press, Kawamba is always on the press.
Yes, absolutely.
So he has got potential to do it. I am not involved in that party.
Are you proud of the leadership at Umodzi?
I don't know their party. I told you, the moment I was leaving, I said, I don't know anything about Umodzi party. I'm MCP. Whatever they're doing, that's their business, not mine. So if they rejuvenate themselves, good luck to them. If they can win, good luck to them. But as far as I know, from my own analysis, I don't think so. Because to get resources to do those things is not possible.
Okay, koma ku MCP zikuyenderani bwanji kumene kumukhalisana bwanji ndi anthu?
MCP is fine. It's a peaceful party, and it's a party which has got a focus, and the party which is strategizing for 2030. And me, I'm very sure that come 2030, MCP will come back to power, but with new faces.
Are you sure about that?
It has to, because it cannot have the same faces in terms of leadership, because those faces have proved that people don't want them. So we as a party people will sit down and strategize. You don't be surprised that one day you are saying Professor Chisi is Secretary General of MCP. So don't be surprised, because they need new blood, and they need new ideas, and the ideas which they were there, ideas akanika. That's why we're not in power. It's sad that we're not in power. Hopefully we'll get there.
So are you still ambitious for the presidency?
Me, I'm very ambitious. To start a party's ambition. To become a professor in university's ambition.
Yes.
To become a professor. Me, I'm very... The first Malawian dean is me. The first head of department for College of Medicine, me. So me, I'm very ambitious, my friend. Ineyo, nizasi ya ambition nitaluwa pasipo. Kumangadi kupuma ambition na president kana obe koma vie kuimeneza ntengera kusindukiziwa because anu ngata kufuna kunikale president with the time they would no matter how old I get, even if I get to 90 I'll never stop, because I want primary school, secondary school take. That's my ambition. If somebody can do it before me, fine. I'll accept it.
So mutakhala zaka zambiri muchita ndale ku Malawi kuno komanso I believe kuti at a distance you were following politics ya ku Malawi ngakhale munali ku academia kuja kuti munali busy kuphunzitsa ana chani kwa ndale be munali kuzisata kuyambira pakale. Zimaoneka ngati kuti ku Malawi kunoko when we move 5 steps ahead zimazikhangati ngati kuzatenga small step ena 10 kubwerera mbuyo. What is really the problem in Malawi kuti ngati kuti progress imazativutirako pang'ono mukuona tivuto ndi chana chisi?
Sitikuziwa what economics is. Sitikuziwa kuti what development is. Sitikuziwa kuti what is the role of citizenry in our society. Yeah. And we have not created conducive environment ya kuti anthu apange expose into so different wapange encourage. We have got to bring each other down syndrome. Anthu akunena kuti munthu angapanga bwino makhala enemy. There's such a thing. That is coming from primary school, secondary school. So, and policies which we follow are these two policies which are primitive in nature. And by this I'm saying, we would rather keep people poor, give them fertilizer, and clap hands, and then feed them when it matters. So we give them fertilizer, politically, they're happy. They farm, they have no input, they have no money, so they sell everything, then they get hungry, and we give them food. And that politically makes sense. We keep people in perpetual poverty.
Yes.
We have got Bunda College of Agriculture. Bunda graduates have no jobs.
Yeah.
College of Medicine, Kuhes has doctors. Doctors have got job. They're all degrees. What is that? When Kuhes people graduate, they go to hospitals. Immediately in hospitals. Bunda, they have no land. So they cannot farm. So here are the people who have got all the expertise. Soil science, crop science, animal husbandry. They graduate, they have no cow. They graduate, they have no land. So you expect to do food security. I mean, at the end you have got your villagers. And then they cannot do anything because the chief said, this is my land. And you cannot do anything because of cultural. We have come up with a good idea. A very good idea. You go to the village and ask him mafumu ndi anthu awo. Amai anabanda marwana mene mkulima ndi ati. Akuzani marwana tukulima ndi awa. Okay. Ma hectares angati 10 hectares. Fine. But 10 hectares apa mukalima ndi khasu lanulo. Fete zakupasani. Mabagi mnati matenga mabagi angati. Ine matenga mabagi 20, anama ena 40. Okay. You write that down. So you go the whole village.
Yes.
Okay. Then you go to the chief. Afumu, we are bringing a Bunda graduate here. Not coming from Ruzilongwe Kapena station where you graduate the Bunda, will tell you your village is so and so. You go there with your people, with your mafumu. You start farming using tractor and antuo. When you harvest, you give them what they were earning when they were doing it on their own. You give them what they were earning when they were doing their own. The excess is now yours. That excess you pay Marona Boma. That excess you get. Because if you cannot make money, we'll give you a salary. But eventually we'll let you be free to manage yourself. Then now you try this one. mukakula chimanga chanu chije fetuze chimanga, you give them a bag out, akagulisa akagusa kwa inuyo, it's okay. Because you can sell them back to me. They will sell them back to you. You create now a meeting system there. You have started now grain and meeting kumuzu kumweko. Then you are exporting or you are selling produce because you are clever. If not, you don't want to do that. After you have harvested, you till the land again, you grow batata because you know what it means. So as soon as the rain stop, you go from batata. And you harvest them, you go into chips. After that, you go back to maize because you are being given maize. You go to Chakwera, your animal husbandry, yes. And handing ngombe zao zingati, apapa, zochuluka bwanyi, milk production, whatever, they train them. You say, ngombe zanu tizigura. Tizigura tu. Kama tipeleka kwa nani? Kwa mtu wakagacha. Aziyangana from now on. The partnership, shares, government. The government guy there who is a Bunda graduate and Pasanchito, Azipanga process machizi, chan. We can do it. Because if quite of missing people go to hospitals where a Bunda graduate is not in the land. And if you are worrying about food security, that's the best way to do it. So that village now will be given targets. I told you already. Yes. Foreign officers are there, so they will sit with the people under Minister of Agriculture to sort out the problem people have. Housing will come. Say, chaka chata, takita na vutika kuenda kufanya nyumba yanuyo. Ne chaka chino tukumangana nyumba hapa pamoja na zanu kuti maro seo. Tilive takita mosa vuta. Whatever it is you get. So you go to Bwanje there. Mango Chibwanje Valley, days of Bwanje Valley, yes. And you do their serious farming of this kind with a Bunda graduate and you're producing rice. Even if you go to Maskima Menakupangao with a Bunda graduate as manager of that, but under employment in the village with the chiefs and he gets paid. Come on, what do you think this will happen in 5 years? What do you think will happen in Malawi in 5 years? Anyway.
So I think we have exhausted talking about John Chisi, the politician. Now let us talk about John Chisi, the professor in medicine. Iniyonga the professor wa zachipatala kapena za umoyo. Ndinokutira ndi momwe boma la Malawi limachitira pankhani za umoyo.
I think question sifu surabu ino yai. You are what you are and what you know. Anthu aja angada kupanga produce what they are producing. Zatengera ife amenda aphunzisa. And attitude ya ife kwa natu. You know what's happening in this country? When I was in 10, Tango Caesar University. Yeah. University. I was a king. I was put in nice house in area 14. Kama ya boma mazandinga kupita ku Central Hospital kana patient. Yeah. I would do my operations. What issues obviously my HIV and naikuya matawi meneyo magaza naruvuta because we didn't have a screening system, but it's okay. It was nice. Now the kids get educated, no job. And they're increasing the intake. Commander Menaribo to now pass. So when you are using nepotistic ideas, by creating by PS massive save and those are that's what happens. Because ideally, yeah, from the village of Malawi to the top of Malawi, there should be a doctor there at this particular point. Yeah. Now I'll tell you what I would do. Now we are Chakwera kuna lini fed? Nifi mapanga ja. Nimepeleka ngongole. Ngongole mapeleka kwanda kwa mbili kwa limit. Okay. So, you take specialists. Yeah. Who are unemployed or they are really struggling. You tell them pangani private practice as specialists in the whole of Malawi. Yes. So you say Musanje there should be so many, Pakati so many, and doctors, I mean, they are still unemployed. So, the whole country, you give them Ngongori and if. You say, this we're going to give you, I don't know, so many millions for you to start doing private practice. Yes. So that you have got the starter capital, mugure equipment from NIF. But we'll make sure that every person is on Mazim who is a civil servant. Yeah. So they will come to see you under Mazim. The more people you see, the more Mazim gives you money. Yes. And the other schemes. And then you have to employ the young people who are graduating if the government cannot absorb them. And some of the conditions. So each and every consultant should have at least 2 young people. So if you have got 6 consultants, that means you have got 12 young people who are working with you, supervised by you, but also being managed by you. You will pay in 30 years. Because we want you to be happy. Pang'ono will be deducting 10,000 kwacha, 20,000 kwacha until 30 years. You are making this money from Mazim Chan and your money Tengan Masari, Mwagure equipment. But always remember to deposit this much in this account so that in 30 years' time, even if you retire, continue for that clinic with anybody you employ in 30 years. Number is Muzidia. Koma Musa what is.
Boma litakhala kusankhanira kukhala nduna ya zaumoyo for example ndizinthu zitatu ziti zimene mungasinthe.
I don't think I would want to be nduna zaumoyo as the current situation is. Chifukwa ineyo ndikufuna zinthu zitatu. One, maternity facilities are maternity facilities. I want kidney transplant to be done in Malawi. I want liver transplant to be done in Malawi. So, Kamusent Hospital, Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Mzuzu Hospital, and Zomba Hospital, they become training institutions where specialists procedures are done. Okay? So, if you want a kidney transplant, you go to Zomba. If you want to go liver transplant, you go to Blantyre. If you want to have a transplant, transplant, anything which is beyond my scope, okay? Each and every this hospital should have the four consultants required. OBGYN, Gyne, pediatrics, medicine, internal medicine, as well as surgery. There should be at least 2 of each or 3 of each in every this hospital. Nobody refers to send to hospital. You do everything there. Okay? For training of doctors plus specialized things, bone marrow transplant, things like that. That's what I'd want. This is Mankwara is happening because of structural problems. No hospital should be keeping Mankwara. Wherever there's a hospital, put a private pharmacy there. Make a contract with the private pharmacy where people go get drugs, but they get paid by government. Don't worry about buying Mankwara. Let the pharmacists buy the old Mankwara. Ngatakuba nizawo siku kuzani. Koma inu mzongo landira biru ya pamwezi ya kuti anthawa to contract that. Whatever you are writing, prescription, you can do 3 things. Your patient, your pharmacist, and your doctor. When government is going to pay drama, I take my prescription, my doctor, and the code yao. As one guy, is this was written by a doctor? Yes. Is it the code in doctor? Doctor unanima prescription now, then they will do it. So there will be no stealing because people.
But central medical stores will still be there.
No, you don't need it. You just need some interesting guys who are pharmacists who can supply government. Near government. Not that they should be government, but they should be near. You have got pharmacy assistants now. You have got pharmacists. They need to make money privately. Doctors are making money privately. Pharmacists are not making. That's why they are stealing. So. Hospital things are very technical. You need support systems. So you need to have pharmacy production. You need the people to be making manufacturing of drugs. You need people to be able to repair equipment. You need to be able to form reagents. So we need now entrepreneurs in Malawi, or at least people from Rwanda and elsewhere who can create systems. Because at the moment everything is imported. Because the entrepreneurs have not seen how they can make money within the hospital setting. So me, I would also encourage. That's why I said 3 things. I would encourage people, entrepreneurs, let's say Philips company or Siemens company, to establish themselves in Malawi, and those people who make X-rays to be here, so that we can actually buy everything from them, and then we don't have to use Forex, and then dispute any hospital, so that if the hospitals are full. At the moment, even a syringe, you have to get in China. Yet, we make plastic things, and the thing is just a plastic, but it's volumes and the manufacturing quality which you need. And even if drips, you import them. And yet these are just water with the addition of some of the normal nutrients which you require, the sodium and the calcium and the potassium and whatever, which they can be done. But if you don't create industrialized fruits, or you don't industrialize creating of equipment which is required in the lab, you never have a hospital, because the hospital is basically a scientific place where scientists think about things, check them, experiment on things, and manage. So you don't have all that. So when somebody is sick, what is it? The symptoms could be anything. They could be malaria, they could be Ebola, they could be COVID. How do you know? It's by testing. So if you don't have equipment, or at least your reagents are finishing because there's no one who can supply them when you want. Europeans have managed to do good hospitals because they have the chemicals, the equipment, they created all these ultrasounds. They understood the principle. They gave us hospitals, but they didn't give us the technical know-how and the industrialization we don't have. So it's very difficult to run a hospital because of consumables.
So last question. Suppose the incumbent president, Professor Thabita Mutharika, appoints you in any government or governmental position, would you still maintain your allegiance to the Malawi Congress Party, or you'll just say, bingo, this is it?
So why would the president appoint me?
Because you're capable. Aren't you capable?
Aha. Is he appointing me because I'm a politician of MCP or because of my capabilities?
But you are... The fact that you're in politics has given you visibility.
Yeah. So if he is going to go crossover parties, what does that mean?
It means you are capable.
So why should I refuse my country when he wants me to go for service?
But the question is, are you going to maintain your allegiance to the Malawi Congress Party?
The president has not chosen me as the Malawi Congress Party, has chosen me as John Chisi. The same way as you can be chosen to be a police officer and we should be in a political system. It doesn't matter. You see, if the country sees my potential and they think I can be of service to my nation, who am I to say no? The whole idea is to serve my nation. So if they say you should be, it doesn't matter the allegiance. All of us at one point were MCP, by the way. We just came from MCP. It was one party system. So I don't understand what you're talking about.
Kama tiseke model ajisi inu democracy makusangalasa ani kapena mono ndipena pake kuti maza democracy ezi bola tukena nkha kwani party system konkuja president akangonena chakuti tiye ndipange tonse tipange
futo ndira kuti sanje anthu
sanje mwailimbikira
anthu akamona president how many times zikamuzwa arrest people amene akukira boma upando amangira shokukira boma upando how many were they? I mean, how many did Bingu put because of treason? You see, you have to understand that democracy saves anthu okira upando chacha, they cannot be there because they are given a platform to form their own party and speak against the president. If there's one party state and I speak like what I've said, I'm undermining the president.
Yeah.
Who am I telling the people about policy? So it's good that we have got a party system, or winner, and work, akama president responsibility, AMCP kabina DP, to safe. Tisipanga mapokoso omwewo, kuti Malawi aone kufundo zina. Osati kuti kuita.
Professor Chisi? It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. My name is Victor Daffrece, and this is Face2Face Podcast. And I believe you have really enjoyed this conversation. I know Anhambiri Munasoa, Professor Chisi, we had him, and I believe you really enjoyed this episode. And if you're watching this clip for the first time, please make sure that you go on the corner and then hit that subscribe button. Once again, my name is Victor Daffrece. Bye-bye.